are now tuned into
E-Man After Dark.
you feel it too.
E-Bombay.
Use some of that dark magic on me, baby.
E-Man After Dark.
You are now tuned into
E-Man After
Kept her
Dark.
waiting for long. The way she reached for the stone. I'm never leaving Westview, baby. Call me Vashon.
Why don't you sprinkle some of that dark magic on me? After dark, after dark.
Phase 1 was the beginning when we first had arrived. Phase 2 was something new, then we was starting to thrive. Phase 3 was something special, we was in overdrive. We ain't gonna talk about 4, we just gonna skip on to 5.
We after dark.
Yeah, you know you live with.
We after dark.
And when you leave this room, you an Avenger. From this point on,
After dark.
you know.
We after dark.
Oh yeah, you are now tuned into
E-Man After Dark.
you feel it too.
E-Bombay.
Use some of that dark magic on me, baby.
E-Man After Dark.
You are now tuned into
E-Man After
Kept her
Dark.
waiting for long. The way she reached for the stone. I'm never leaving Westview, baby. Call me Vashon.
Why don't you sprinkle some of that dark magic on me? After dark, after dark.
Phase 1 was the beginning when we first had arrived. Phase 2 was something new, then we was starting to thrive. Phase 3 was something special, we was in overdrive. We ain't gonna talk about 4, we just gonna skip on to 5.
We after dark.
Yeah, you know you live with.
We after dark.
And when you leave this room, you an Avenger. From this point on,
After dark.
you know.
We after dark.
What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Saturday night, and yes, we are here after dark. I am your host, Emmanuel E-Man Noisette, and I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through tonight. I do apologize for my tardiness, but your boy just got fresh off a flight. Okay, you know, I've been working out here. You know, I know we usually do this on Fridays and all that, but I've been working. Okay, y'all saw what I was doing. I was out there. Well, if you haven't been following me, then you probably missed out. But for those of you that missed out, I was out. I was out there for a bit of an event, and the event was really to see some footage of Mufasa. I cannot say exactly how I felt about it. At least I don't believe I'm allowed to yet. But I did get a chance to meet director Barry Jenkins. That's the same director that gave us Moonlight, Underground, and all that. He is the director of Mufasa, the Lion King. So that was pretty cool to hang out with him. And just do a little work out there. Your boy had to go network and do some projects and all that. So just understand, if we don't have a live, it's usually for a pretty good reason. Just you never know what I'm cooking up. But anyway, yes, as I mentioned, no, wait, actually I should say this. So we've got a couple things to talk about. We got a quick little update for Spider-Man 4. I think there's some rumors out there too, or whatever. I'm gonna give you guys my take on Venom 3, and yes, we're gonna talk about Blade. Yes, we are gonna talk about Blade. But just to kind of give you guys a heads up, I'm gonna do my best, and I know I'm gonna fail. I just have a feeling I'm gonna fail, but I'm gonna do my best to get through this. If I feel or seem sluggish, I'm still on some jet lag, so forgive me in advance. Okay, just forgive me in advance for that. Let's see, what do we have though? let's see. We're gonna do some quick shout outs. Because it is after dark, it's after my bedtime, and I'm tired. Natalie, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. King Chad, what's up? Good to see you. Paulette, hello. Mr. Mitchell, appreciate you coming through. Last of my kin, how you doing? DB, thank you for coming through. London coming through in the house. What is up? Milan, thank you so much for being here. Rachel, appreciate you coming through. Jerome, what's up, Mr. Minister Crush? Good to see you. Wait. We got the homie Kiki West coming through. Tracy Ann, appreciate you always. Quiet One, thank you so much for making it out. Come on now, wouldn't be alive without Ms. Harper. Thank you so much for being here. Sound Doctrine, thank you so much for being here as well. Diane, good to see you. Jay, hello. My man Nelson, what is up? Anna, thank you so much for being here as well. Who else did I see? I see the homie Treese is here. Wait, did I miss? Oh, there we go. My man Corey is back. What is up? Rodney, hello. Good to see you. Low key, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you always. We got the homie Kristen holding it down with the mod squad. Appreciate you for that as well. Who else we got? Jesus, good to see you. Shauna, I see you as well. Thank you so much for being here. I see the homie T-Ville is here. Hey. From right after this live. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I didn't even upload it. Let me make sure I get that going for y'all, because we from. Nah, you know what? I have to end early, because if you have not watched I need y'all to get on it. Okay. Philroy, what is up? Chris, good to see you. Callow, sup. And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. I really appreciate y'all so much. Let's see, Natalie, what you say? You telling me Mackey's the only black superhero? No, we got peoples. Riri. Is she a superhero? I don't know, man. Wonder Man is coming. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate you. What you got here, Tracy? Thank you so much. Well, perhaps you missed your calling as a stylist. From your clean SGA attire to the Mufasa ensemble to the fiery E-Man After Dark robe dance, the 50th birthday gift. I'm glad I saw live. I'm feeling the side hustle. Get it? Thank you so much. Actually, I would not be able to take half of that credit. A lot of that comes from Mrs. E-Man, like straight up, so shout out to her. She is my stylist, because listen, pro tip for all you fellas out there, wear whatever your lady likes. That whatever she likes, that's what matters. It don't matter. I don't care what the style is. I don't care. Listen, if Mrs. E-Man sits here and says, when you wear them yellow bell bottoms, y'all don't think I'm gonna sit here walking around looking like I got 2 bananas down on what? Come on now. This easy. This is easy. Pro tip, take it, run with it. But yeah, I gotta give shout out to her. She's my stylist. She gives me the heads up for all of that. But thank you so much for that. Anthony, have you seen any Dragon Ball Daima? It is making me want to rewatch the OG Dragon Ball, which is the point to celebrate 40 years. No, I have not watched it. At least not yet. That does not look like a show I'm gonna wait every week to watch. So I'll probably watch it when everything comes out and I can binge through it. Also, I'm not a fan of Kid Goku. I'm not okay with that. Like, I'm tired of it. Didn't work for GT. I don't like this fascination of trying to make Goku a kid again. That's not something I want to relive. I got on to Dragon Ball mainly from Dragon Ball Z, so I'm cool with them being adults. So I don't have that nostalgia factor. Let's see. Quiet One, what you got? First off, kudos on showing off the Chi-Town swag at the Mufasa event. Appreciate that. Second, this has been a rough week to be a nerd with Venom 3 in theaters and Blade news, bruh. Yeah, we're gonna get to both of those, but yeah. Oh yeah, Monica Rambeau. Yeah, listen, I'd love for her to get a little more screen time, but yes, her indeed. All right, let's move on. We have got to get through some of these news items here. So I'm gonna try and go through some of the stuff that I had missed from the week before. And we're just gonna kind of rush through a lot of these so we can kind of get to it. So let's do some of the quick updates. What do we have? There we go. God of War. Did y'all remember that this was a TV series that they were making? So it is in development. The development on the live action God of War is now going to start over from scratch. Rafe Judkins has left the project after completing multiple scripts. Studio wants to move in a different creative direction despite praising the previous script. So, sound familiar? Looks like whatever we were gonna get with the God of War live action series, that's done for, and we're moving on. I guess they're gonna start over, but hey, whatever. Okay, get it right, because that right there, I think, has a lot of potential to be a really, really dope series if and when that happens. So I'm here for that. What else we got? Oh, thought this was funny. Did y'all watch Harold and the Purple Crayon? Because Netflix, they were offered it and they said no thanks. No. With as much content that Netflix has, with as much stuff that they can throw on there and just nobody would even pay attention to, the fact that they sat here and said, y'all can keep that. I thought that was funny. We don't hear about Netflix saying no to anybody, but the fact that they said no to this, and in case you didn't know, this movie bombed so hard. It bombed so fast. Like, nobody even thought about, let me go watch this movie. So I just thought it was pretty funny that of all people, where you could dump anything, Netflix was like, nah. Now, listen, I heard Tubi would be fine. Tubi might be the next best place. Because yikes. Oh, speaking of Netflix, we have this other update here. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it's a little annoying trying to deal with all these subscription services and stuff like that. It'd be hard to like manage, and then once you even figure out what it is that you want to get rid of, like that could be a whole process. But it looks like the government's like, listen, y'all gonna put an end to this, because the FTC has finalized a new click to cancel rule, and all subscription membership services will be required to offer one click to cancel with this new rule, and it will go into effect in 180 days after being published. Listen, there's a lot of things we can criticize the government for. Okay, the government is far from perfect, but you know what? Sometimes they get some things right. I like this. I subscribe to this idea. One click to cancel. Don't ask me, are you sure? Don't ask me, oh, well, what if we give you? I don't want no offers. If I made a decision to get rid of your funky little tail off my bill, leave me be. Stop annoying me. Cancel. That's it. I love it. So shout out to the FTC for that. Cannot wait for that to go into effect. What else? We got another update. This is for Lord of the Rings. There's another live action Lord of the Rings movie that is going to be in the works. Now, we did have The Hunt for Gollum. That was something that they were making. And at first it was believed that it was going to be split into two films. However, it is now that's actually not true. They're actually going to develop another Lord of the Rings movie at the same time. So we're not getting a two-parter, which I'm actually glad to hear, because when I heard about the whole Hunt for Gollum, I mean, I've heard about the story. I kind of read up on it a little bit. It's all right. It It was nothing like I was like, oh man, we need a whole movie for this. But to do a two-parter, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that sounds a little too much, you know. But if they are doing a completely separate movie, I'm cool with that. There is just so much stuff that can happen with the Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of material there, so I'm cool with that, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. We do have some other movie updates. So you've got I cannot say his last name, so I'll just call him Luca. But Luca is set to direct a new adaptation of American Psycho for Lionsgate. Now, in case you did not know, American Psycho, I believe, is safely called a cult classic. That is where Christian Bale just put a performance on of a lifetime. Solid movie. And you know, this was based off of a novel. I did not read the book, but I did read that apparently they are not going to redo this, right? So they're not going to or at least Luca doesn't want to take what Christian Bale did and redo it. He actually wants to tell a different version, a different side of it, I guess, or a different look to it. So that will be I think that'll be kind of interesting, especially if you're going to do something different and not try to like redo what was already done. Because in my opinion, the Christian Bale version, you can keep it. Like it's still good, right? Like you can still watch it to this day and it's still solid. But there are no details on like who would do it or who's going to be in it. We don't have those details yet. But let me just say for the record, if y'all are going to do an American Psycho, go get Glenn Powell. That to me, that's where you want to go. Get Glenn Powell. You know, this is the same guy. When you look at Glenn Powell, he looks like that classic, you know, white-eyed, blue-eyed, you know, white gold hair, you know, blonde hair, blue-eyed American guy that don't nobody suspect. Everybody look at him, probably fawn over him, the good looks and all that stuff. Don't nobody know or realize that he's secretly a psycho. You go get Glenn Powell, and I think he would be a very good American Psycho in this rendition, or in this remake. So I think that'll actually be pretty solid. Next up, we have a new Disney movie. And this Disney movie is with a familiar character. Y'all seen him in all the princess stories and all that. But apparently, Disney wants to make a Prince Charming movie. Y'all remember Prince Charming? You know, was always there to save the day and all that. But who they got might be a different thing for us to talk about. Because apparently it's gonna be Chris Hemsworth. I don't really understand why this is a thing. I don't know why. It says here that Chris Hemsworth is in talks to star as a titular character in Disney's new Prince Charming movie. Says while plots are unknown, the details are unknown, so we don't know what the angle is going to be. Many people have linked him to classic animated picks like Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, but his true origin is in Cinderella, where Cinderella's actual love interest is Prince Charming. Now, insiders do add that the film will not specifically be linked to Cinderella. I mean, okay. So, I mean, is it just me or does he seem a little too old to be playing this? I'm just saying, like, I don't, unless now we don't know the story. So I wonder if the story here is this is Prince Charming after the fact. Maybe this is Prince Charming, you know, 10, 20 years in marriage, you know, and something also tells me this. I get the impression that this is going to be a comedy. Like I got the feeling that This is not going to be, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't know why they're doing this. But I think the only way you can make this work is you got to make this a comedy. Make fun of Prince Charming being old or older. Because I don't see how this works. I don't know. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about a Prince Charming movie? Is this something that you're interested in? Will you check it out? Do you need a trailer? Whatever you think, let me know. Hold on, what did I get here? Carrie. This was the story. It was a Stephen King story. I think it came out in the 80s, I want to say, the movie. But it was definitely one of those type of films. Now, I mean, y'all know I like horror and all that. I was never afraid of Carrie. I was never afraid of that. But I think some people used to be. Oh, was it the 70s? Okay, maybe it was the 70s. I think some people were afraid of Carrie, but that was never something that really terrified me. Here she go. But yeah, that epic scene with the whole prom or homecoming or whatever it was definitely something that was really getting people going. They made a remake for it. I think they also did a sequel to that remake. The movie was okay. I don't think the sequel did very well. I think the sequel might have flopped. But not only is this relevant now, it's because we have a TV series that's going to be happening for Carrie. But it's not the fact that we have a TV series that I'm interested in. It's who's behind it that has my interest. And it is actually coming from Mike Flanagan. Says here, Carrie from horror maven Mike Flanagan is in development at Amazon MGM Studios. Now, this is going to be described as a bold and timely reimagining of the story of misfit high schooler Carrie White, who has spent her life in seclusion with her domineering mother. After her father's sudden and untimely death, Carrie finds herself contending with the alien landscape of public high school, a bullying scandal that shatters her community, and the emergence of mysterious telekinetic powers. Now, it does say here that Flanagan is going to write and executive produce, so he will be the showrunner on this as well. And in case you did not know, Flanagan has also done The Haunting of House Hill, Midnight Mass, which I love, The Fall of House of Usher, Dr. Sleep, which I really liked, and Gerald's Game, which I also liked. He did all of that on Netflix. So I trust whatever Mike Flanagan wants to do. Mike Flanagan, to me, has proven that he can definitely handle a lot of these films and adaptations and do a pretty good job about it. I'm wondering if he will also include, they're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. I just wonder if they're gonna add that in there. I hope so. I hope so. So normally I wouldn't care about this, but the fact that Mike Flanagan is doing it, you have my interest. Like I definitely want to see how this turns out. And the fact that he's doing it, I know it's being developed by Amazon. I wonder if it'll still find its way to like Netflix, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be on Netflix, on Amazon. I don't know. But you guys let me know. How do you feel about a Carrie series being in development? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna add some sort of modernization to it. So we're probably gonna see, some social media bullying or something like that. But it's clearly gonna be something to turn this little girl and snap on everybody the way that she does. So we'll see. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about it in the comments down below. Hold on. Let's give some shout outs. My man Terrence, thank you, brother, for the $10 cash app. Says for the E fam to get back on track. Well, we here. Appreciate you for that. Oh my goodness, thank you so much to Low Key. Appreciate you for the love. Sending the $25 cash app for happy Saturday. Happy Saturday right back to you as well. And from Thomas, thank you so much for the $10 cash app. Says for Blade Morning. Thank you so much for that support, y'all. Appreciate y'all keeping this channel nice and ad free. All right, we did Carrie. What else? Oh, this was a newer update. We got an update for Alien. Y'all know we talked about Alien Romulus. I really enjoyed it. I liked that film. Had a good time. I thought Fede Alvarez did a really good job with that as well. But we do have an update here about the potential future for it. And it says here that 20th Century Fox, this was Steven Asbell. He said, we're working on a sequel idea now. We haven't quite closed our deal with Fede Alvarez, but we are going to, and he has an idea that we're working on. Okay. Now this goes on. Who says this here? I think okay, this is more Asbel. The two survivors, Rain and Andy, played by Kaylee and David, were real highlights of the film. And so I always think of it like, wow, where do people want to see them go next? We know there's going to be aliens. We know there's going to be great horror set pieces, but I fell in love with both of them and I want to see what their story is. So, okay, cool. Listen, I can tell you where I think it should go. I would love to see, since we talk about multiverses and all that stuff. So let's see. This happens in between Alien 1 and 2. So technically, Ripley is still alive. Now, I don't think we about to bring Sigourney Weaver back and, de-age her and do all of that. But I think it would be interesting if you could find a way to cross over maybe even the video games with Alien what's that, Isolation, I think it's called. There was even a web series or something like that with Alien, and they all have like these female leads, right? Like it pretty much follows the same thing. Now I don't know if Isolation was Ripley's daughter or something. I think it was that one, but either way, I would love to see all these women come together and be like, you came across that alien too? Hold on, you with the alien too? And I think that'd be dope. And we need to bring David back. We need to bring David back because I need to know what the hell has David been doing? What has David been doing all this dang on time? Bring him in. And yeah, I listen, let them androids fight. I want to see all them androids get down. I want to see David. I want to see Walter. I want to see Walter come back. Yo. I want to see David go against Walter and have Andy. A 3-way android battle royale. Let them all fight. Listen. They got a lot of stuff that they can do with this. So I'm interested in it. What I really like is the fact that Fede seems like a huge fan of the series. He definitely understood the assignment with Romulus. So right now, I trust this man to do what he wants to do with the next film. So if he's got an idea, let him cook. I'm fine with it. I'm going to let him cook. So y'all let me know. How do you feel about another Alien movie? Did you like Alien Romulus? Are you looking forward to a sequel? And do you have some ideas for one? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. My man Travis, thank you so much for that super sticker. I really appreciate it. Okay, what else do we have? We got some John Wick updates. So as you guys know, we have John Wick. You know what? Can I just say John Wick is what all these other movies wish to be, okay? Because you had a movie that started off with a basic concept. A man, former assassin, lost his puppy, after mourning his wife, and he's been getting payback ever since. And that one little movie I feel like it was that little engine that nobody was suspecting, and all of a sudden it done turned into a whole franchise. We know that we are getting spin-off movies. We got one for Donnie Yen's character. He's getting a movie. We got a ballerina spin-off like this, and we're going to get another John Wick. Okay, we're gonna get another John Wick. So they gonna keep doing this until Keanu just can't do it no more. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But now I think we saw the trailer for Ballerina. I think we watched it together. Whew. So it definitely had some good action. At least from what we could tell. I mean, that's honestly the main job of these movies anyway. But here's some information. I don't know if we talked about this or whatever, but whew, looks like Ballerina had a little trouble behind the scenes. It says here that Chad Stahelski, basically the main guy who directed it and he's running the John Wick franchise, he reshot a significant chunk of Ballerina after Lionsgate did not like Len Wiseman's work on the film. The reshoot took about 2 to 3 months. Wow. So, right now, if we put this in Marvel terms, Chad Stahelski is like the Kevin Feige of the John Wick franchise. Like he can oversee everything. He's in charge of everything, all the different shows. He's an executive producer on the TV shows, on the movies, all of that. I would feel some type of way if I spent all this time directing a movie, I show it to the studio, and they was like, "Is this your final answer?" Hey, yo, Chad. Hey, man, come fix this. Chad, this ain't working. Hey, no, Les. No. It's cool. It's fine. Chad, you need to fix this right now. Yikes. But here's the thing. I'm good with this. You mean the guy that made John Wick popular, the guy that made all the action sequences just amazing, the guy that has revolutionized action in the film industry, decided to come in and fix the Ballerina? I'm here for this. Yes, I'm here for this. Let's go. So it sounds like the Ballerina is now watchable. I'm fine with this. Like, let's go. So I think this is nothing but a great piece of news. But we also have some more John Wick news. Like I said, listen, John Wick, this is I feel like they come in with some MCU energy. I feel like they like, listen, we gonna have a cinematic universe if we want to as well. Because not only are they doing Ballerina and Donnie Yen's movie and another John Wick movie, they got a prequel anime that is in the works. What? The film follows the impossible task. Wait, this is a movie too? Woo! They got a movie that's an anime and it follows the impossible task that John Wick had to complete in order for him to retire from being an assassin. I am here for this too. I'm here for this. Because one of the coolest things about John Wick is his past. A lot of people, and that's just from good storytelling, right? You all you do the moment you watch the first movie, when other characters hear about John Wick, they be like, "What? Baba Yaga? Oh, hell no." Like, don't nobody want John Wick problems because this man's reputation precedes him like no other. So the fact that we can finally get a little peace after this has been hinted at for years in multiple movies, you did it. You built up my anticipation, so I'm here for it. So yes, I'm here for it. And yeah, I want to see what this prequel anime looks like and what they're gonna say. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about this John Wick news? How do you feel about this prequel anime that we're going to be getting? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Shogun, what you got? I'm fine with an Alien Romulus sequel, but maybe a little less nostalgia bait. Next, go. I mean, I don't know if you can really get away from the nostalgia bait because it literally takes place in the past, right? Like this is way. I mean, it's not like Alien. It's not like Prometheus or Covenant, but it's right after Alien 1. So I don't know how you can escape anything that was going on during Alien 2 and maybe Alien 3. Like unless you're doing a big time jump, like you're kind of stuck there. Now, they could do a time jump, right? Because maybe she freezes herself and she wakes up 30 years later. They could totally do that, and maybe we could fast forward into I don't know what's the latest Alien. Not the Predator ones, they don't count, but maybe we fast forward into the future and maybe she finds the older Ripley. Now, that would be a clone of Ripley because I think the original Ripley died. But maybe, so listen, I'm here for it either way. I want to see where they go with it, but we will see either way. All right, what else do we have? We've got Harrison Ford. So we know that Harrison Ford had been conveniently recast to play the role of William Hurt played, Thunderbolt Ross. And he will be playing in Captain America: Brave New World. I always want to call it Brave and Beautiful, but that's not it. But he's gonna be the Red Hulk in the Captain America movie. But I think a lot of people have been well, let me not say people, but like people in the industry might have been a little surprised that a actor of Harrison Ford's caliber, this is a top notch. This guy was a movie star, Indiana Jones, Passenger, like what was that? I was gonna say Passenger 57. That's with Wesley Snipes. Air Force One, like this dude has been doing fantastic work for a long time, and yeah, for him to do a Marvel movie, people in the industry, they kind of, I don't want to say it's snobbish, but some people kind of look at that and be like, really? You gonna do a Marvel movie? So Harrison had a couple thoughts on that, on joining the MCU. And let's see, what did he say? He said, I mean, this is the Marvel universe, and I'm just there on a weekend pass. I'm a sailor new to this town. I understand the appeal of other kinds of films because the kind we made in the 80s and 90s. I don't have anything general to say about it. It's the condition our condition is in, and things change and morph and go on. We're silly if we sit around regretting the change and don't participate. I'm participating in a new part of the business that, for me at least, I think is really producing some good experiences for the audiences. I enjoy that. First of all, get paid, bro. Get paid. That get your money, because let's be honest, and we just saw, who was it? I think it was Al Pacino that was out here doing a Hardee's commercial. And when they asked him, they was like, why are you doing a Hardee's commercial? He was like, ha, I need the money. Hoo-ha! He needs the money, because a lot of the older actors, or some older actors, they're not getting leading roles the way that they used to, right? You're not going out to go see an Al Pacino led movie. You're not going to see a Robert De Niro led movie. Now, that doesn't mean that they're bad. I'm just saying the star power has kind of diminished a little bit. They don't have the same pull that they used to have. It's the same thing with Harrison Ford. That last Indiana Jones movie didn't do too well. Matter of fact, I think it officially flopped, but that's just the reality of what they're in. And I love that he basically said, like, yeah, you're silly. And yes, this is for those industry folks, other actors. Y'all are silly if you think that, oh, well, it's like beneath you to just go ahead and do some, comic book movies or whatever. It's fine. You know why? Because we, the audience, show up. We still show up. Not you, Madam Web, or, other Flash or Morbius or whatever. But for the most part, we do show up. So, he's absolutely right. Audiences do enjoy that. There's no reason why someone, and by the way, it's still acting. Last I checked, it's still acting. The only reason that this is being looked down upon is because that's a Hollywood thing. Like, y'all are the ones that are doing this. Meanwhile, you got people like Chris Hemsworth, you got people like Tom Holland that nobody is checking for outside of Marvel in comparison to the things that they do. And they are feasting. Do y'all really think Chris Hemsworth would be considered for Prince Charming if he wasn't already Thor? Like, what do y'all? I mean, okay, shout out to Extraction, but did y'all go see Black Hat? Did y'all go check out Cherry? Did y'all really like the whatever Hidden Room? I don't know, whatever. Like a lot of these other things that these actors do pale in comparison to the roles that they have in these comic book movies. Like, these comic book movies are elevating them to a status that's similar to the old school superstar, or the old school Hollywood star. But as we've talked about many times, Hollywood stars, that's a fading thing right now. You don't, you might have a Will Smith or a Tom Cruise, but at this point, that's not even guaranteed. Brad Pitt doing a movie, maybe. Did y'all go see Wolves? Like, had George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Did y'all go see it? I don't know. I think it went on Apple or something, and I don't know. Apple just don't be showing a lot of stuff. But I'm just saying, like, there is nothing wrong doing these type of movies. And if anything, one, you're going to get paid. And two, you might actually mess around, elevate your relevancy, and then you can go off and go do all these other, passion projects that you want to do because your star meter just went up. Now, because that's the thing in Hollywood, you got to be relevant. Ain't nobody checking for you if they don't know you still exist. But if you go on one of the biggest platforms like the MCU and you're getting all this press, your name is in the tabloids, your name is in the headlines for good reasons, you can go do all the other stuff. So yeah, it is silly to just look down on this stuff. But Harrison Ford had some more to say when he was asked about the death of Hollywood movie stars. And he was like, I don't think the question is whether or not there are any movie stars. There's wonderful actors coming up every day. Whether or not they become movie stars is really not the point. If movies need stars, they will find them. I've never freaking understood being a movie star. I'm an actor. I tell stories. I'm part of a group of people who work together, collaborate on telling stories. I'm an assistant storyteller. That's what I am. Listen, I respect this man's energy. I respect that perspective as well. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, he's lying, though. I don't know how you didn't understand a movie star, because, sir, you were one in the 80s and 90s. You were one. But at the same time, yes, I agree. Like, you are an actor. You're part of a process. An actor can only do so much. You can have the best actor with the best acting, but if the script is bad and the director is terrible, it's not going to help. And then you can have a bad writer, but and that'll hurt, or bad directing, and that'll hurt. Like, all those things have to come together. So I really respect where Harrison is coming from with this. I think he's made a very, very good point. So y'all let me know, how do you feel about what he had to say about actors being, doing comic book movies, superhero movies? And what do you think is the state of the Hollywood movie star? Do we need them still? Do you still look for them? Or I don't know, maybe you don't care. I don't know, whatever you think. Let me know in the comments. Okay, Shogun, what you got? I meant nostalgia as in scenes similar, like the alien grabbing Rain. Okay. Is like the alien close to Ripley in Alien 3. I just want more original scenes. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I think I'm okay with that nostalgia scene only because it was kind of short. It was like what, 10-15 seconds. And Fede did say that, he wanted this movie to be an homage to the movies that inspired him, like Alien 1 and Alien 2. So I don't have a problem with a director showing respect like that, but I totally understand where you're coming from. You don't want to overdo it, right? Like, you don't want to do it every single time with every single shot. Totally agree with you. Now, I will say, if we're talking about original shots and stuff, that hallway scene with the face huggers, I don't recall any of the other movies doing that. I could be wrong, but I like that scene. That scene had me. I like that. Or the slow motion, with the video game scene at the end. I like that too. But I totally support what you're saying. More original scenes are always a great thing. So I'm definitely here for that. Anthony, what you got? I'm more concerned about a prequel, or I am concerned about a prequel revealing John Wick's backstory. If they do too much, they take away from the mystery of him, and he might be less interesting. That's facts. That's facts. I mean, it is an interesting thread to walk, or it's a tightrope, but at the same time, when you tell his story so much, it's kind of like, at some point you could just go ahead and say it. Now that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that adds to his background, because maybe he got popular before doing that impossible task, right? Maybe it was some other things, I don't know, but I totally think that that's a very valid concern. Anthony said he's not above those zeros at the end of those checks. Yeah, I mean, hey, everybody make your money, cut the checks. All right, let's move on. We got Lupita. Lupita Nyong'o. She was talking at I think it was at a film festival, at the London Film Festival, and Black Panther came up. Now obviously she was doing other press things of that nature, like for Wild Robot, which I still haven't seen. I need to find time to see that. But she was doing some press there for her movies. And the topic of Black Panther came up. And of course, she's, of course, still hurting from the passing of Chadwick Boseman. They were very close as friends. So that was something. But, it did get to the point where she started talking about the feeling that was happening in the room while Black Panther was being made. So I thought her comments were interesting, and I wanted to share it here. She said here, there was a lot of fear, definitely from the executives. Marvel was shaking a little bit in their boots. She laughed. We were too, because we were like, we only get to do this once and we got to do it right. But ultimately, it totally shattered the myth that Black don't sell. So a couple of things. First of all, let's go in reverse order. The myth, especially at that time, that Black properties, Black film, Black-centered stories don't sell, is something that Hollywood has held on to for a long time. It was one of the ideas that Ike Perlmutter, the other guy that was part of Marvel, that was kind of like the idea he was holding on to, as he was actively blocking Kevin Feige from making Black Panther. And of course, as we knew, $1.3 billion, Black Panther came and was like, no, we can be global with all of this. And yeah, she's right. They did only have one chance to do this, right? Like, as much criticism that we can fairly give to Marvel for not doing the best job with Black properties, because that is a fair criticism, we also have to acknowledge that what they did with Black Panther is unprecedented. They gave an all-Black cast and crew one of the highest budgets out there. In other words, they put their money where their mouth was. They said, here's $100 million for a Black movie about Black people and Black themes. No other studio. What other studio is doing that? What I mean, you might have black movies out there for sure, but that's getting $100 million budget. That's getting that high of a budget. That's a lot. They went so I understand that they would feel a little nervous, you know. So the fact that she said that the execs were shaking in their boots, I know. Now I know she didn't want to say who, but I know somebody came in. I don't know, maybe a Nelson Peltz type of person walked in on that set of Black Panther and was like, why are all these blacks here? How much was the budget? What? And you got women and all the blacks? We gonna put this in theaters? You know they was terrified. I just like the confirmation. I like the confirmation. I want to hear some names. I want to know some names of who was scared. Okay, because again, Kevin Feige was basically the one pushing for this. So again, I know we can give Kevin Feige some flack, but the man, he was the one that was like, we need to do a Black Panther movie. Okay. Nate Moore was also there. You know, he was the shepherd, you know, top producer there. I want to know what other execs. What was it, Bob? Bob, was you scared? Who else was out there nervous with all the blacks and the women's running around in the African, you know, futuristic stuff? I want to know who was scared. That's all I want to know. But anyway, y'all let me know, how do y'all feel about this revelation that Lupita shared here about the fear and Marvel at the top of what was going on with Black Panther? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Yeah, let's talk about this. So we've talked about Christopher Nolan's new movie. It doesn't have a title. We don't know what it is. And I've already told you guys, like, he is one of the top directors, probably of all time. You know, definitely one of my favorite directors. You know, he's given us so many great films. You know, from Interstellar, Inception, Memento, the Dark Knight series, and then of course most recently Oppenheimer. We also talked about how he used to be with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers was like, let's go ahead and drop Tenet at the same time and all that. And no, and Nolan blasted them. Nolan was like, nah, G, we not doing that. I'm leaving. And he left. He found him a new boo with Universal, and they was like, hey, we got Christopher Nolan. And they just made movie. They made Oppenheimer, made them $1 billion. And even though Warner Brothers was like, hey, big head, I got a little check for, like, I don't know, a couple $1 million. Don't you want to come back? And he was like, oh, thank you. No. Bye. Took that check and said, I'm finna go make some more movies with Universal. And now here we are. So we don't really know very much about this new movie. What we do know is that it is going to star Matt Damon. So Matt Damon is in it. But we also got some new news that another person that y'all might recognize is going to be in this. And it's going to be another Brit, Tom Holland. He is also set to, or I think he's in talks. Yeah, it says he's in talks to join the cast of Christopher Nolan's next film. Now it says if the deal goes through, the Spider-Man actor would star alongside Matt Damon in this otherwise top secret film. So no one knows what this is all about. And that, again, is pretty much the MO when it comes to Nolan's movies. Nobody knows what he's gonna do, what it's gonna be about, you know, the direction is gonna be like, we don't know. A lot of time, unless it's something like Batman Dark Knight, don't nobody be knowing what he's going to do. I mean, Tenet came out of nowhere, and it was just kind of like, oh, you gonna make a bomb? You gonna make a movie about a bomb scientist? Like, all right. So now that we have that, we do have some rumors. We got some rumors because what his movie is going to be about is something of intrigue. It is something that will get people curious. So we have a couple rumors that we could talk about here, and I thought these were a little fascinating. So take them with a grain of salt. We don't know. Take them with a grain of salt. One rumor is that it's a horror movie. Another is that it's a helicopter action movie like the 1983's Blue Thunder. Let's talk about that real quick. So I want to say, if those rumors were true, I would believe the helicopter movie first, just because it seems like Christopher Nolan likes things that have to do with time. So I could see that being a period piece. And I can also see his fascination with, I wouldn't say just technology, but with like large vehicles and stuff. Like, give him a submarine, he gonna do something. Give him an A-bomb, he gonna do something. So I could see that being a possibility. Now, him doing a horror, I'm interested. Mainly because when you look at Christopher Nolan's filmography, this man is not afraid to try new things. Everybody was beside themselves. Nobody saw this coming when, the guy who did Memento then turned around and did The Prestige. You went from a dude that couldn't remember stuff to a magician that, was like a magician battle. And then you turn that, and then you cross over to the superhero genre before it was big and cool. Okay. Before it was cool and making $1 billion. This man went and did a comic book movie, and then he turned and did sci-fi, some really dope sci-fi films, mind-bending, and then he turned around and did some war films like Dunkirk, and then he did a nerd movie about the bomb scientist. Like, this guy has some range, but one thing he hasn't done is a horror movie. And that's where I'm very interested, because I'd really like to see his approach to it. I'm so curious, if he did horror, what would Christopher Nolan think about? Because what excites me as a fan who likes that genre is we see so many horror movies doing the same things, the same jump scares, the same idiot that just walks down the dark alley for no reason, the same dumb girl that runs and trips and falls. It's always the same stuff, except for James Wan. Shout out to James Wan. And it can get a little tiring. So if we can get a prolific director to come in and not fall victim to the cheap, saturated, overused tactics, I think that would be phenomenal. So I'm really excited if he does a horror. I don't think he will, but I'd love it if he did. Now it says here, the Hollywood Reporter, when they talked about Tom Holland's casting, it did say that the setting is not present day, although it's unclear if it's set in the past or the future. So this is definitely going to take place at a different time. And now IO9 got word from a reliable source, grain of salt, that Nolan's film is a vampire movie set in the 1920s. I feel it's kind of interesting. Marvel want to do a vampire movie. Ryan Coogler doing a vampire movie. And now maybe, rumored, Christopher Nolan might do a vampire movie. First of all, I'm here for this. If Christopher Nolan wants if he wants to do a vampire movie, I think this will be phenomenal. Because one, it checks off so many boxes of things that already are in his repertoire. One, I think that he can deal with the time aspect of it, because he already does period pieces with a vampire who lives a long time. He could definitely play around with time, maybe jumping from different decades, centuries, things like that. If you watch The Prestige, I could totally see him adapting something for that time setting. The real question is going to be like, yo, like, how, where is Matt Damon going to be the vampire? Is Tom Holland? Are they like vampire hunters or something? I think there was another rumor that said something about this was going to be an espionage, like a spy movie. So I'm just like, my mind is racing with all these possibilities, because maybe every one of these are true. What if it's like a vampire that's actually a spy for the government in the 1920s? And like, I don't know. It's so many different things. But listen, it's Christopher Nolan. You already won me over with that. So you guys let me know, how are you feeling about these rumors, because they are rumors, about Christopher Nolan? How do you like the idea of Tom Holland coming on board? You got Matt Damon. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is shaping up to be something interesting. But y'all let me know whatever you think in the comments down below. All right. Ew, what you got? I could see Nolan making a Frankenstein movie. I could see that. I wouldn't want it though. Let me tell you something. I don't like the old school, horror movies. Frankenstein, I don't care. The Wolfman, whatever. Creature from the Blue Lagoon or Black Lagoon, whatever, I don't care. The Mummy, ugh. Like none of them things. The only one that kind of works is Dracula, because I feel like Dracula is just, he's more of a horror character like vampires are. I don't really care for all of that stuff. Like, to me, I just don't see it working. I mean, I'm not saying it can't be dramatic, because Frankenstein's story is more of like I think it's more of a sad story than it is like a horror movie. But maybe you could do it. Anthony, thank you for that. Dark Knight was the first movie to make $1 billion for comic book movies. Quiet one, what you got? Execs were nervous black films wouldn't sell on a global level, because in the past black films didn't sell a lot in the China cinema markets. They feared wouldn't appeal to them with the Black Panther movie. Yes, this is true. It's also why while we were talking about Black Panther, we talked about this, where Marvel punked out. They got scared, and you saw two different posters for Black Panther, where they literally hid Chadwick Boseman's face. They hid his face. Let me see. Can I pull it up? Oh, I don't think I can pull it up. But yeah, they hid his face. They didn't want to show that it was a black man. They tried to trick. Yeah, they tried to trick the Chinese folks that this was the case. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So this is the poster that we got in America, right? Chadwick right there. All right. Rest in peace. But in China, this is the one that they got. They got this one. Black man with, so you walking around, you in China, you don't even know this was a black man, even though it's Black Panther. So yeah, that's absolutely correct. That stigma was holding a lot of the execs back in that case. Let's just do this real quick, since we just talked about Tom Holland. So we talked about this as well. Tom Holland, one thing that he's gonna obviously be known for is Spider-Man. And I told y'all this before, ain't nobody really checking for him outside of that. I mean, it's just a sad reality, but it is kind of the truth at the same time. Good actor, does his thing, but the crossover it just hasn't translated. It hasn't translated. You don't get the same carryover appeal. Spider-Man goes off and makes $1 billion, and half of these other movies, not so much. But speaking of Spider-Man, we finally have it official because Tom Holland, I believe, over the week announced that Spider-Man 4 is actually happening. And not only that, but we have a date. It says here the news untitled Spider-Man movie has been added to the release calendar for July 24th, 2026, and Destin Daniel Cretton is still directing there. Now, we do not have any type of details behind this. We don't know what the story is, but I don't have the rumors posted here, but from what I've heard, remember we talked about how there was this supposed battle between Sony, who wanted this to be a big multiversal thing, and Marvel and Tom Holland, who wanted to be more street level. So, from what I'm hearing in the rumors, it's sounding as though Sony might actually get their way. It sounds like we will be getting something multiversal-ish. It sounds as though maybe Null, Venom's big villain, there were rumors that he will be involved in this as well. And I kind of look at it from two different perspectives. One, Spider-Man has always been a street level character. Like that's where he thrives. That's where he is most relatable. That's his bread and butter is the street level stuff, and honestly, it worked with the first couple of movies, like not Spider-Man 3, but with the GOAT, Tobey Maguire, like, yeah, it was all street level stuff, and it did really, really well. But on the other hand, when you look at the success of Spider-Man, especially with the MCU, every film has gotten progressively better. Spider-Man Homecoming, street level, cool. Spider-Man Far From Home, little global, but cool. No Way Home, took it up a notch. Got to that billion something, billion and some change. So one thing that, it's hard for studios to ignore is the dollar signs. Oh, you mean to tell me if we bring Andrew and Toby back, we gonna make billions and then some? It's hard to say no because people gonna show up. So, and not to mention, we're still in the multiverse, and you still have Secret Wars coming up. And for all you comic fans, you know Spider-Man in the old school Secret Wars played a very vital role. My suspicion is that we're not going to get one rendition of any Secret Wars. I think we're going to get a piece of all the Secret Wars because there were multiple. And I think we'll get like the Spider-Man aspect from the old one put into this some way, somehow. So, yeah, looks like maybe it'll start off street level, but then it'll grow and some way, somehow we're going to get more multiversal stuff. I don't know, but I'm here for it either way. Spider-Man is definitely something I'm interested in one way or another. So you guys let me know. Are you excited for Spider-Man 4? They haven't missed so far. So far, they've been actually doing a pretty good job with the Spider-Man franchise with Tom Holland. So and it was also reported that Marvel and Sony struck a new deal. So it sounds like they're still working very well together. Listen, as long as Sony gets out of the way and lets Marvel just produce it, I'm fine with this. Now, if Sony ever decides to back out, which they have the right to do, they don't have to share Spider-Man with Marvel. They don't have to. They own the rights. They can do whatever they want with them. But if they ever kick Marvel out the deal, good luck. Good luck. Because they've already demonstrated that they cannot handle it. They've already, whether it's with Spider-Man on their own or whether it's without Spider-Man in these non-Spider-Man movie spinoffs, they've already demonstrated they're losing faith. They're losing confidence. So y'all better play nice. Keep playing nice. But anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about Spider-Man 4? Are you looking forward to it? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay. What else do we have? So, Armor Wars. We've talked about Armor Wars for a little bit. Armor Wars was supposed to be initially Disney Plus spinoff show for Rhodey, played by Don Cheadle. This was supposed to be, at least from the rumors, it was going to be a spinoff show on Disney Plus concerning, I don't know, people were going after Tony's weapons and Rhodey had to go get them back. I don't know, whatever. That's the basic premise we got. However, despite being announced, we hadn't heard nothing. Now we heard some reports. We heard that Don Cheadle had gotten a pay bump because the movie or the TV series went from being a TV series to now becoming a movie, you know. However, even with that news, we still ain't heard nothing. Now, the closest we heard was Don Cheadle when he was on the Today Show, and he basically was playing around with them and was like, you know, what's Armor Wars? You know, just we know that he kind of plays around like that. But he was asked about this more directly in another interview, and you might not be shocked at what he had to say. TV Line asked him, hey, any word on where Armor Wars stands? And he said, you could find out and let me know. And then they mentioned how the TV show was switched to a movie, but there have been no updates since. And he was like, yeah, I think the word that's the most salient in that sentence is switched. Ha ha ha. He laughs. I don't know. I'm not sure where anything is right now. I think things are going through a lot of changes and we'll see what happens. We'll see what it is. I don't believe this is happening. I don't believe this is happening. But let me I don't want to get too deep into this, but y'all know, obviously, I am here to support Black actors and Black representation on screen all day. I'm here for it. I support it. Yes. If you put an Armor Wars TV show on there, I'm watching it. If you put an Armor Wars movie in the theaters, I'm going to go watch it. I would be lying to you if I said we need an Armor Wars TV show or a movie. I do not believe we need this. I believe that this entire thing with Armor Wars came from the pandemic era. Remember, during the pandemic era, Marvel and Disney were forced to push out more content. We need more. Whatever it is, Disney Plus, we need more content, more content. So they said, cool. We got Rhodey over there. Man, come on, man. We gonna give you a TV show. But as time progressed, as we pulled out of the pandemic, we started to realize theaters weren't dead. And as Disney's stock started to go down and they brought back Bob Iger and they realized, you know what? Maybe we need to slow down because y'all remember phase 4 was struggling. Armor Wars was announced during phase 4. And I've tried to tell y'all this when it comes to productions with TV, movies, etc. Everything that we have now was planned out 4, 5, maybe more years earlier than that. Okay, so what, we in 2024 right now. Captain America, Brave and the Bold, Brave New World, whatever, that thing that was planned back in 2020. That was planned probably in 2019. So a lot of things that we see are on a 5+ year delay. I've told y'all this as well. Anything that was planned during the pandemic era, I don't trust it, and I'm not excited for it. That includes Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, like all of these movies. I ain't really looking forward to them. When the Marvels was announced, Thor: Love and Thunder was, I was like, all right, Quantumania. Now, Jonathan Majors had me excited for that, but outside of that, I was like, another Ant-Man movie? So the only exception was really Deadpool and Wolverine, because to me, that was more Ryan Reynolds than it was Marvel. And I trust Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool anything. So Armor Wars was a byproduct of the pandemic era. That planning. To me, that's still going to be questionable. Echo, you guessed it, came from the pandemic era. How did that do? Vision Quest, we barely even talking about. I don't even think it's called Vision Quest. That might still happen. Y'all remember White Vision? He was supposed to get a show, and people were talking about he was going to cross over in Armor Wars and all this stuff. Where's that? What's going on with that? There were a lot, and let's just be honest. There are a lot of things that were announced that are just not happening anymore. There are things that were rumored that were going to happen, and Marvel already said, actually, Disney, they daddy, already told y'all we're pulling back. So no, this is not something that's only affecting Black characters. They're pulling back on some other things, probably, and hopefully smartly, things that they haven't even announced. But I think while I do not like the idea of Don Cheadle not getting something, because I think Don Cheadle is a fantastic actor. I love Don Cheadle's performances in almost every single thing that he's in. So my heart goes out to him in terms, like, on a personal, professional level. Like, I want him to just succeed. But as a Marvel fan, I don't care about these side characters like that. I like Rhodey. I never believed that we needed a Rhodey spinoff. I never believed that Rhodey could carry a movie. I mean, he was a supporting character for a reason. But anyway, if this is canceled, I'm not losing sleep as a Marvel fan. I don't like it for Don Cheadle, but I'm not losing sleep over it's not going to affect anything. Like, we've lived a long time. We've watched a lot of stuff when Rhodey was not around and nobody blinked. Nobody really, it was fine. So, this is not the most optimistic news, obviously, for Armor Wars. It doesn't sound great, but it is what it is, and they do need to chill out anyway. So I'm fine with this. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about Armor Wars maybe not happening? There are no updates, and that is the update. The update is there are no updates. How do you feel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, we only got a couple left. I think we got 3 left. So we still got to talk about Venom. We got to talk about Blade. And let's talk about Zoe. So Zoe Saldana, you guys know her. She has been in plenty of movies and all that, but of course, she famously played Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy and in the Infinity movies, Infinity War, Endgame. And she's also been in the Avengers movies. I'm sorry, the Avatar films as well, and a number of other things, right? Um, but she had something interesting to say. Now she's, probably going to be in maybe one of the Oscar talks. I think, what is the movie called? I think it's called Amelia Perez. Yeah, Amelia Perez. That's going to be a movie coming out on Netflix, where she is going to really make a push, I think. Um, or at least I've been hearing she's going to be making a good push for maybe best supporting actress in that, or maybe lead. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet. Either way, she had this big old interview and she mentioned her role as Gamora in the Guardians films, and she had some thoughts on the future of Gamora. Um, let's see, what did she say here? So about her time at Marvel being over, and she's content to wrap up her 7-year run with 2023 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and she's ready to pass the torch to another actor. She said, "Let it be a brown girl to play Gamora." This was her wish for the character moving forward. Give that opportunity to a woman of color and see what the new Gamora is going to bring to the table. So I have a couple of thoughts. Let's go with the nice ones first. Um, I think, I think this is a very good sentiment. Y'all already know I fully support passing on the mantles, passing on the torch to other actors to play roles, because that is what we do. This is how Hollywood, this is how entertainment, this is how storytelling has always been done. You allow the fictional character to continue living on by letting somebody else play the role. That, kudos to her for that. She's not sitting here worried about her legacy or somebody ruining her legacy, because that's not a thing. She's not worried about being entitled to believing that only she can play Gamora, you know. So I like the idea that she is willing to pass that on. Furthermore, I also like the idea that she wants that opportunity to go to a woman of color. Great. Great. I like the idea that yes, women of color, people of color have issues compared to their white counterparts. We know that Hollywood does have discriminatory practices, or there's a big disparity between, the women of color versus white women, white women, their white counterparts. So yeah, having that kind of opportunity is solid. Did I cover all the positives? I think I covered all the positives. Let me just talk about one thing that kind of bothers me just a little bit. In case y'all didn't realize, Gamora is an alien. She's also a green alien. Outside of the fact that a brown girl who probably doesn't get as many opportunities, this would be great for them. What difference does it make? I'm just saying aesthetically. Aesthetically, what difference does it make if it's a brown girl that plays Gamora? Black girl could do it. Asian girl could do it. White girl could do it. Albino girl could do it. Like, you all gonna be under makeup anyway. Now, I'm not accusing Zoe of this per se, but this is more so a critique I have for the industry at large. I don't like the idea that if we have an actor of color, black, brown, whatever, and we put them in makeup and cover them up, we are meeting our quota of like diversity. I don't like that. I saw some of the rumors before. I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was actually true that James Gunn wanted Aaron Pierre, who now is going to play Jon Stewart, that apparently he wanted him to play Martian Manhunter, who, by the way, is also a big green alien. And I remember some of the discourse that was had back with Star Wars. And I remember how people was like, what do you mean Star Wars, isn't diverse? Lupita's in there and we got Rosario Dawson. And I'm like, wait, what? Rosario Dawson is an orange alien. And so is Lupita. Lupita's an orange alien. That does not count. That is it's superficial diversity if you take people of color and make them literally an imaginary other race or whatever with another color. That's not the same thing. Because when we talk about representation, we're talking about having people be comfortable and actually enjoy seeing people with darker skin or different skin that's not just white. We're not saying it can't also be white folks. We're saying that it should be everybody that's seen normally, and that be okay in leading roles. So no, having a Mace Windu doesn't just check off your box of diversity. And this is why I be trying to tell people, it's levels to this. Back in the 70s, George Lucas probably was very, very progressive. He had Mando, he had Billy D. Williams, but guess what? They were side characters. You don't even know where Mace Windu lives. Where's his house? What planet is he from? But you know all about the Skywalkers. You know all about Princess Amidala. You know about the white folks, but you don't know nothing about these black folks like that. That's the point. And that's okay because they're supporting characters. But what we're talking about here is like, yo, don't sit here and talk about this is diversity or inclusion when you go get these black characters or you get these brown, actors, and all of a sudden you just cover them up in paint and we don't see that. Because to me, that's just an excuse to be like, yep, we hit our quota, but I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to see it. So I don't like that. So I like the sentiment from Zoe of trying to give this to another brown girl because another brown girl could definitely use the opportunity. But I also don't like the idea that brown girl won't be seen. It's just going to be another green alien. Anyway, that's just, quick little something. Anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about Gamora moving on? Passing the torch and all of that. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Rabia, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. Let's see. Talented One just dropping off some support. Work has me on production call, so I haven't listened yet. Thank you so much, Talented One. Appreciate you for the support. JN, I wish folks in the industry would listen to these vocal dissertations. They could learn a lot. Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, I don't expect anyone from Marvel to like tune in or, anyone from DC or, the studios. It'd be nice, but hey, but listen, this is why I be telling y'all, make your voices known. Make your voices known. Go out there, say stuff. Y'all got social media too. Sometimes I've seen some of y'all go viral. And other think pieces be written about that and stuff. So, y'all got power too now, JN, are you making a movie franchise like Avatar, blue painted people instead of showing Africans, little white kids with dreads? Nah, bruh. See? And that's the thing. Like, does it really count? Does that really count? To me, it's superficial. It's all superficial. But anyway, let's move on. What else do we have? Okay, we got. Let's do some of the Marvel updates, and then we'll do Venom, and then we'll close with Blade. But I'm a little hot, so I'm actually going to take this off. So give me a sec. I'm gonna change real quick. Y'all didn't think I was not gonna play the music, right? Because we got to support my man Chief, so we're gonna play the music too. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, you are now tuned into
Even after dark.
Ah, you feel it too.
E-Bombay.
Use some of that dark magic on me, baby.
Even after dark.
You are now tuned into
Even after
Kept her
dark.
waiting for long. The way she reached for the stone. I'm never leaving Westview, baby. Call me Vashon.
Why don't you sprinkle some of that dark magic on me? After dark, after dark.
Phase 1 was the beginning when we first had arrived. Phase 2 was something new, then we was starting to thrive. Phase 3 was something special, we was in overdrive. We ain't gonna talk about 4, we just gonna skip on to 5.
We after dark.
Yeah, you know you live with.
We after dark.
And when you leave this room, you an Avenger. From this point on,
After dark.
you know.
We after dark.
I'm muted. So, hi, I'm back. So we have some new updates here for the MCU in terms of the movies that we can expect in the next coming year. So now we have kind of like a roadmap of where we're going and what we can start expecting. First off, we have Avengers Doomsday, which will be the big Avengers movie. That is going to officially begin filming in the spring, and it will hit theaters May 2026. Can't wait. Now, of course, we know this is going to be the one where we're going to have Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom and all of that, but I'd be lying. I mean, I don't know who's not going to go see this. Like we're am I still muted? All right, hold on. Y'all can't hear me? I'll take the mic off. Can y'all hear me? Somebody type something if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, you have sound. Okay. So maybe there's a delay on other folks. Okay. All right. I was about to say, like, I turned the mute off. All right. So we have that. Let's see. What else do we have? We also have Daredevil. So now we have an official date. It is going to premiere on March 4th on Disney Plus. I can't wait for this. This is something I'm definitely looking forward to. This is something that ever since they re-announced that they were going to fix this. Now, I do think this first season is going to be rough. I do believe it's going to be rough because remember, they shot a lot of this ahead of time. And then Kevin Feige came in and was like, yo, I don't like how this is really going. They got rid of that old team. They went back and got the team from Netflix that did The Punisher. And they said, okay, y'all come in and do this and y'all finish it up. So I do fully expect the first season. I don't think it's going to be terrible, but I do think it won't hit right off the gate. Maybe. So I'm just bracing myself for that. But I do like the fact that the team that's there, they're dedicated. Because remember, Marvel changed their whole approach when it came to TV stuff. Before, what we used to get was a bunch of TV shows that were only here to set up movies. That's all they were really there to do. WandaVision, you're just here to set up Doctor Strange, right? So I like the fact that we're actually moving forward and getting these TV shows that will focus on the characters and stay in their own lane. They're just gonna stay in their own lane and do what they need to do. So I'm here for this. What else do we have? Then we have now here's what we can start expecting in 2025 moving forward. We have Captain America 4, y'all movie. That one's coming out February 14th. They got the nerve to put this on Black History Month too. Woo! February 14th, 2025. Hold on. Y'all, we gotta talk real quick. Now, I'm just going to report this. I heard from somebody else who heard from somebody else that this movie ain't it. It ain't it. It's not it. So yeah, I don't my confidence is not very high for this. We'll see. I'm here to give him a shot though. I'm here to give him a shot, but I want this to be good. I want it to be good. I don't want it to fail. I don't want Cat 4 to fail. But I haven't heard great things. Thunderbolts coming out May 2nd, 2025. Fantastic Four coming out July 2025. Listen. 2025, that summer is going to be cooking. Okay? Because Cap is going to come in February. Then we got May. Then we got July. That's a nice looking lineup. That is a nice lineup for us to be getting some Marvel movies. And hopefully that can build itself up. And then we're going to wait about a year. And we're going to get Avengers Doomsday. And then after Doomsday, that's where we're going to get Spider-Man 4 in July 24th, 2026. And then we're going to have a good year in between that and get to Avengers Secret Wars. I think I'm excited for this half right here. That first half, I don't really care. But that second half, I'm here for this. So 2025, I think it's going to be meh to good. Cap 4 might be meh. Thunderbolts, I did hear Thunderbolts was really good. Now, I need some more convincing, but I also heard that Thunderbolts is really good. Fantastic Four, I don't like, whatever. I'm whatever on it. We'll see. But these three right here with the Russos coming back, I'm here for this. So let's see. I think, is that it? Or do we have another one? Oh, now we go even further. So we had all that for 2026. With Secret Wars and all that. And now Marvel went ahead and they revealed release dates for 3 more films in 2028. So we got another one coming in February 2028, another one slotted for May 5th, and another one for November. So they sticking with this 3 in a year. Now, I thought they was going to pull back and maybe do 2 in a year. But it sounds like whatever they, locking those dates down for, it sounds like it's going to be something that they're confident in. So we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like Marvel does have some things cooking, and those dates are going to be lining up. So y'all let me know, how do you like this new lineup of movies that are coming in 2025 and 2026? Is this something that you're excited for? Is this something that maybe is renewing your faith just a little bit more in Marvel? I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Would you watch a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie from Nolan? Yes, I would. Based off of what he did with The Prestige, yes, I would. I think he could make that work. Just a rumor, JN. Marvel wants Billie Eilish as Rogue. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not a fan of like the gimmick actor, singer stuff like that. Like, that would not be a good move in my opinion. I think that you should just go get actors. People that can commit. Billie Eilish, in my opinion, that from what I've seen, I don't see her as an actress, so no thanks. Just because she's, a white girl that colors her hair does not make her Rogue. Like, no. Let us talk about, I think it's time to talk about Venom. Yeah, let's go into Venom. All right. So we got to talk about Venom 3. As I think it's pretty clear, I have not been the biggest fan of the Venom franchise. Just so that you know ahead of time, I understood why the first Venom was more successful. I think that the first Venom did an okay job. I thought it was okay at best. But I did think that the second Venom was just absolutely terrible. Like, they just, whatever momentum was built up before just completely went downhill. And then we have Venom: The Last Dance, which supposedly is going to be the last movie in the Venom franchise. It's supposed to be the big hurrah, right, as they leave. Yeah, so let's kind of go through a quick intro for Venom: The Last Dance. Let's see. So it says here that Eddie and Venom, they're on the run. They're facing pursuit from both worlds. As circumstances tighten, they're compelled to make a heart-wrenching choice that could make the end or mark the end of their symbiotic relationship. All right. So let's go into the good, because as you guys know, I do my best to still find whatever's good and whatever's bad. I thought that Chiwetel Ejiofor's performance, thought he was pretty good in the film. He did a pretty good job as the military, role. So points for acting. Yeah, points for acting. I thought that the VFX for this film was pretty solid. Not well, let me be very clear. I think the VFX for Venom, the character, was done very well. Every time we saw Venom, I thought that it was done in a very good way. When Venom was bonded with Eddie Brock, I thought that was solid. And I will say that I thought that the third act, the big final, hoorah, the big battle, I thought that was actually done pretty well too. It was entertaining, had some action. It was cool. Oh, and no, for all 5 seconds that we saw him, no, looked fine. He looked, intimidating. Okay, that's it. To the bad. One of my biggest disappointments in this movie was probably the fact that this franchise, it's called Venom. We hear the tagline, "We are Venom." But Venom barely shows up. At least not enough for me. And the movie's writing, it found a way to create a convenient plot device that keeps Venom kind of tucked away. And I'm sitting here like, what? Like, you said that this was Venom. Like, where's Venom? And you only see him kind of pop up, with his tentacles and stuff. And, he shows up to talk with Eddie here and there. But I'm like, I wanted to see more of Venom bonded with Eddie, right? Like, that to me is like one of the best parts. So as a result, I felt like this movie, was more like it was running out of its budget. The budget was they ran out, they couldn't afford all the VFX, and they couldn't show Venom that much. But instead, they was like, "No, we're gonna give you a whole lot of Tom Hardy." Okay, like this is not what I came for. I did not come here to watch all Tom Hardy. I came here to watch Venom. But whatever. The writing and the directing was not my favorite at all. It did not seem very cohesive. A lot of times, like the characters in the film would say or do things that try to evoke some sort of dramatic response, but I don't think it really felt earned. I didn't really like some of the story elements in here as well, like the bonding process. Do y'all remember this from the first movie? The bonding process, the symbiote, a symbiote getting onto a host. They made that into such a big deal. They was like, nah, man, these symbiotes, they got to bond with people and it's got to be the perfect match, like an organ donor or something. They threw all that out the window. They was like, nah, symbiotes. Ah, symbiotes. And I was just like, what? Y'all just don't care? Y'all don't. So again, hey, if you don't want to think, that's fine. But my thing is, the movie itself should respect its own lore. I'm not saying you got to make this stuff super complicated, but if you're going to have a whole movie talking about how hard it is to bond, but then you go in the other movie and you just ignore that, that tells me that you don't respect yourself. It tells me that your movie and the story has no integrity. Speaking of the side stories, I didn't like them. All these other stories, like with the family, Martin and them, like, I mean, shout out to my man Otto, from House of the Dragon, but these stories felt unnecessary and they felt forced. I mean, it's bad enough that we're not getting Venom in his own movie. It's bad enough that we're getting all this Tom Hardy. Now you're gonna add all these side characters for what? Like this, hold on, where's she at? This lady had a whole side story about lightning, all just to build up one little moment in the movie. I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, hold on, the twin brother and the lightning and all this. Was that supposed to care? Like, was this supposed to build to something else? The writing in this film is not good. It's not. It's just, we had all these side quests. We had all these filler characters and filler stories. This is bad writing. It's bad writing. Y'all, I've already been very clear with this. Humor is subjective. The humor in Venom is not for me. I know some people like slapstick, goofy, silly humor. That is your right. That is your prerogative. It is not a wrong thing for you to enjoy that or laugh at it. I do not. I thought that the humor in this was cheesy. I thought it was very corny. And I thought that it went over the limits at points where it hurt the story. The whole Vegas thing, so it felt dumb. The dance number, it felt stupid. To me, I did not care for it. I understand some people get a kick out of that, and that's good for them. But for me, this was a miss. This did not land. It felt forced. It was kind of like, hey, you know it'd be funny? Let's have Venom or Eddie go dance and do things. Like, it did not add to the movie in any way, shape, or form in a positive way to me. While I did say that the VFX for Venom looked really good. Again, Venom looks good. The VFX for all the other symbiotes did not. I think the worst one was probably Toxin. That was the one bonded with Mulligan or whatever, the detective. That thing looked unfinished. It looked like it was in the middle of production. It was still on some green screen or something, and they just didn't even fill in the colors. They were just like, nah, man, just let it rock. Just put them out there. Put them out there. They not gonna notice. They not gonna care. So yeah, the VFX definitely looked unfinished outside of Venom, even though Venom was only in there for like 15 minutes. And yeah, let me just get to the end of this. Venom: The Last Dance, I think, was a discombobulated finale of a trilogy that had to rely on the wacky stuff, the silly stuff. And at the end of the day, this was more of a Tom Hardy movie than it was a Venom movie. This also felt very dated. It felt like a comic book movie from the early 2000s. And listen, if I had to rank it, I definitely would have Venom 1 first. Then I would have this Venom, and then I would have Venom 2 as being absolute last. So when it comes to the rating for this Venom: The Last Dance, I'd probably have to give it like, I think, a 4.5 out of 5 out of 10. Like, it's just, to me, it's just not a good movie. This is one of those cases where it's a quote unquote fun movie. And I've already told y'all about that. Fun movies are a studio label or an excuse. It's a red flag. Whenever you see it's a fun movie, that is an excuse to say the writing was not that strong, the directing was not that good, the acting probably wasn't fun either, but hey, they threw you a couple things to make you laugh. All right. And before anybody comes in here saying some ridiculous, stupid stuff like, he expects Venom to be Oscar award-winning stuff. No, I don't. No, I do not. Venom is all. First of all, this is a Sony movie. Okay? Sony movies are already graded on a curve. They're already on that lower platform. So nobody is expecting award level caliber performances and stellar No. I've told y'all before, these things do not have that same kind of comparison at all. But even with that, this did not work for me. Yes, I do believe if you go into this movie remotely thinking hard about it, you will absolutely start to realize how problematic this is. And if you have to turn your brain off, which is fine, we do this all the time. I think that's the best way you can enjoy this, and absolutely go in with low to the flow expectations. So this did not work for me. Maybe it did for some of y'all, and that's fine. But this did not work for me. But you guys let me know. You probably have already seen Venom. Let me know what you thought about it. Come on back to the video. Let me know your thoughts and all that in the comments down below. All right. Quiet one. So you basically saying Venom 3 is Madam Web. You know what? I think this was a little better than Madam Web, but it's like what do you want to eat? The manure or the mud? Like, I don't want to compare them. I don't even want to compare it. You know, like, ew to both. So pass. But before we get off of this Venom, we have some other updates about it. Writer and director Kelly Marcel says that Null's appearance in Venom: The Last Dance is kind of a taster of where he might potentially be able to go with his own movies. The same way they introduced Thanos very carefully throughout the Marvel movies. Ma'am, stop. No. His own movie? Y'all can't even tell Venom's story right. And you think that you're going to be able to tell Null's story? Like on Thanos? Why is he even in the same conversation? Why are y'all even bringing up Thanos? Y'all have not even earned the right to bring up Thanos' name. Leave Thanos out of this. Please. Anyway, Tom Hardy also had something to say. He too would like Venom to have some type of Logan type of ending. No. And that's it. That's it. Venom, nothing about Venom has earned the right to have a Logan type end. No. Like this, are y'all delusional? What makes you think that you are on Thanos level or Logan level to even have that conversation? Y'all can't even make the money that they make. Y'all don't even earn the ratings from fans or from critics. Y'all don't get there's no comparison. How dare y'all? Hey, the audacity. The audacity. Oh. Like I do question if this is delusion. I really do wonder if they're just like are y'all on something? Anyway, like this is I'd be insulted. Like if I was Marvel, I'd be like, keep our characters' names out y'all mouths. All of them. If it ain't Spider-Man, keep our characters' names out y'all mouths. Oh, Logan ending. Get out of here. All right. Let's get to the last topic. Oh wait, no. Do I have comments? Let me see. No, Anthony, I don't have time to do all that. Let's see. DePaul, Venom's Last Dance sounds like Halloween ends. I'm still upset how they did Michael Myers. Yes. Great comparison. Yes. All right. I'll get to the rest of y'all later. Let's get this Blade topic going. Oh, Blade. So if you are new here, I would welcome you to watch any and all of my other previous videos on Blade. I have consistently been covering Blade and any and all announcements, rumors since this thing was announced. Blade has been a huge impact on Marvel because, as I've said before, and I'll continue to say it, there would be no MCU if Blade had not saved Marvel from bankruptcy to even have an MCU to begin with. The Daywalker walked, so Tony Stark could fly. Okay? So a lot of respect goes on the character of Blade's name. And a lot of respect goes on Wesley Snipes, who Recently, we saw come back in the Deadpool and Wolverine with his feature, and that was fantastic. So Blade is important, right? Blade matters. But Blade has gone through a long litany of problems. We've gone through multiple writers. We've gone through multiple directors. And with all of these different things, oh, by the way, we also had a writer's strike, so that was also a thing. But with all of these hurdles and challenges, we've had delay after delay after delay after delay. Even Mahershala Ali's lawyer had talked about how this was just ridiculous. This was crazy. This is the craziest thing I had ever seen, right? And it is. This was announced in 2019. It's 2024, and nothing has happened. Now, we've heard a number of different things, such as Mahershala Ali has been given extra privileges, like he has script approval, probably say on who the director should be, etc. And that probably has contributed to things. Like if you guys bring this man a boo-boo script, I'm glad that he can say no. He's a 2-time Oscar award winner. Let the man say no. I'm fine with that. But you also had, even during whether it's the pandemic, whether it's the writer strike, a lack of oversight. And I would say that goes on Kevin Feige, where he was the one that looked at the script and was like, what is this? This is trash. Y'all fired. We got to bring in somebody else. They brought in Michael Green, who did Logan, Blue Eyed Samurai. He did a script. I believe they liked it. And then they brought in another guy who did Thor Ragnarok to kind of polish it up. And the last thing we had heard was that everybody was happy. And then we lost another director. But the script, supposedly, everyone liked. Now, I had done, and I encourage y'all to, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch my video where I talk about finally getting an official update. Like when we finally heard something from Kevin Feige himself about Blade. And we looked at the interviews. We looked at the interview where some of my colleagues finally asked Kevin Feige straight up what's going on with the delays. And the one thing that kind of stood out to me the most was when Kevin Feige compared Blade, the process of making Blade, with the process of making Deadpool and Wolverine. And in so many words, he was like, we had to find that magical element, which was finding Hugh Jackman to sign on for Deadpool and Wolverine. And then that's when Deadpool made sense. That's when Deadpool came together. So, and I've been sitting here saying, like, wait a minute, you're waiting for some magic secret sauce for Blade? I mean, it's a vampire movie. Do you really need that? But even if you did, Wesley Snipes is right there. That's your secret sauce. You already in the multiverse. What are we doing? Like, what else are we doing? So, fast forward. As many of you already saw earlier this week, we got another update on Blade, which was Marvel Studios won't be coming out. The Blade won't be coming out on November 7th, 2025, because production was supposed to start like next month. And rather, Disney is going to use that slot to do Predator Badlands. All right. So, the news headline that had been going around was that Blade was delayed indefinitely. Now, the indefinitely part is what I think rattled a lot of people. And hello, I'm a lot of people. I didn't like it because we've been going through delay after delay after delay after delay. Um, and I think a lot of us have been under the assumption of like, why is this so hard? Now, I want to be fair because somebody had brought it to my attention and they were like, hey, people keep talking about this only being a vampire movie and what's so hard about just doing that. And one of the arguments that was brought up was, well, the second and third Blade movies, those were only about vampires and they didn't do too well. Now, I would argue that, yeah, everything is not always going to hit, but that third Blade movie, y'all literally tried to replace Blade in his own movie. That might do it. That might do it. But I agree to an extent that you don't want it to just be a vampire movie. You're in the MCU. It's 2024. Now, does Blade need to go fight Thanos or go do? No. But I understand that you will want to have something that makes sense in this universe for it to work. Now, I'd also argue Moon Knight didn't have to do none of that. Moon Knight just existed. So, just saying, Marvel can do whatever they want. But let me read a couple of these updates here or whatever's in this article, and then we'll get into some other points. Yes, this was first announced in San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. Now, Mia Goth, who's supposed to play Lilith, she's supposed to play the big baddie in Blade. She did come out and say, and we reported on this, that Marvel, they really, really care. They do. They want to make a great movie. That's the sense I get from them, and that feels good. And this article goes on to say that Marvel boss Kevin Feige, it's important for him, it's important to make the best Blade movie ever. The studio won't make the movie until they've cracked a great script. And that sounds just to be in line with what Kevin Feige has been saying and all of that. I want to address a couple other things here too. First of all, I want to address some people online. So when I made a comment, I made a tweet. Can I pull up my tweet? Yeah, I can pull up my own tweet. Hold on. See, y'all should be following me anyway. But I made a post and it was getting a little, I think it wasn't a spicy post. I think it was just kind of like, I was just saying how I felt, where is it? Yeah, okay. So this was the post I made. And I said the problem that Marvel Studios is going to have to contend with is that while they wanted to do something spectacular, everybody just wanted something cool, grounded, action-packed, vampire flick, and throw Wesley Snipes in there. And we good. We don't need all that razzle-dazzle, So the disappointment here, it does feel like Marvel got in their own way because I feel like this could be an easy $1 billion movie. And it would be something for the culture. I personally believe that the Blade movie could have a similar impact that Black Panther had and Deadpool 3. But Marvel wants this to be so great. And I do believe Mahershala Ali deserves better. Now, let me address a couple things from that tweet. I saw some people trying to go along and be like, this isn't Marvel's fault. It's Mahershala Ali's fault. I was like, what? And they were like, well, yeah. Didn't you see where he said he wants this to be his Black Panther? I was like, yeah. So what? And they were like, yeah. And he's the one, he's got all this approval and all this stuff, and he can, deny scripts and all that. So all these delays are his fault. I'm like, all of them? First of all, I'm fine with all of that. I'm fine with a 2-time Oscar Award winner wanting something to be great, especially given the fact that Marvel had no plans of making a Blade movie to begin with. This was not on their radar. This is from Marvel themselves. It wasn't until Mahershala Ali called them and said, I want to do a Blade movie. And they was like, oh, snaps, we got Ali. Let's go. So I'm not going to begrudge this black man who has earned his right and his place to call shots on the delays of these movies because he wants this to be great. Not to mention, we heard the rumors of how some of these scripts had Blade being replaced by a daughter, and he was like a fourth character. And I'd say no to that too. I would rather him say no to those type of things and hold up the movie than for a crappy movie to come out. So I don't have a problem with that. And I'm still not going to hold him completely accountable for all the delays. Maybe he did do some, and I'm okay with that. But this still goes back to Marvel. Why? The reason why I say this goes back to Marvel is because, and let me be nice first. Let me be nice. Y'all know E-Man's a nice guy. I believe Marvel. I believe Kevin Feige that they do want Blade to be the best. I believe them. In the past, and I've quoted this before, Kevin Feige has acknowledged how Blade saved Marvel. He's acknowledged how Blade was so unique and so special because it basically was giving him the idea that, hey, here's a character nobody really knows a lot about, and look how successful it could be. Kevin Feige took that principle and applied it to the MCU. So Kevin Feige knows that he owes a lot to Blade. So I'm not going to pretend that Marvel just doesn't want to see a black man succeed. No, that does not line up with what they've been doing or what they've said or what other people in the industry have said about them. All of that doesn't, y'all can believe whatever conspiracies you want, but we go off of the evidence around here. That does not line up. So I'm trying to be nice. Marvel's trying. Now, Kevin Feige also acknowledged that a lot of times movies take time and they do have issues. This is something that is also true. Let me bring up an example for y'all. What's going on with Constantine 2? Do y'all know how long Constantine 2 has been in discussion and pre-development and all this talks and all that stuff? Do y'all know how it's been years? Years. You can go back to interviews from almost 8 years ago with Keanu Reeves saying, yes, I want to do it. Yes, we're trying to get it together. Yes, we're doing it. Yes. Constantine 2. But are any of us up in arms about the delays with Constantine 2? Now, I'm saying this as someone who loved the first Constantine movie. I've been excited for any type of news with Constantine 2. But notice the difference in our reaction when we hear nothing about Constantine 2. Listen, if you were not following me, if you were not locked into the small niche of movie news updates, would you even know the status of Constantine 2? Would you even know that Constantine 2 was something that was still happening? You probably wouldn't. Most people probably wouldn't. But what is the key difference there? What makes that different than Blade? The difference, and this is where I believe Marvel, yes, you are at fault, is because nobody sat here and took Keanu Reeves on one of the biggest nerdy platforms and said, hey, y'all, we gonna do a Constantine 2, y'all, and Keanu's here. Put on the hat, man. Put on the hat. They didn't do that. But Marvel, you did. Marvel, y'all paraded Mahershala Ali out there since 2019 at Comic-Con, Hall H, which is one of the biggest platforms for nerd news. Y'all put that announcement out there. So, in other words, the expectations were raised by Marvel by announcing something that, in my opinion, they were irresponsible with. They were irresponsible because y'all should have had a script and a director already locked down. Before you go talking about Mahershala gonna be Blade, before y'all talk about any of that, y'all should have had that stuff done first. Why? Because production hell happens all the time, but we don't follow it. We don't know about it. Y'all think that's the first time an actor turned down a script and caused a delay? Y'all think that's the first time a director left the project? Y'all think that's the first time a studio has gone through 50 million different scripts? It's not new. But at the same time, we've never had our expectations raised like this from the studio to even begin to care. That's the difference. That's why I'm disappointed, because y'all raised my expectations. And furthermore, not only did the announcement be a problem, it was still on Marvel to do anything else with Blade. The only thing we've gotten in 5 years is a voice. Nobody knows what Blade from Mahershala Ali even looks like. We don't have any concept art. We don't have any cameos. We don't have anything. So here's the thing, Marvel, I understand developmental issues happen. I get it. I'm not even begrudging y'all on that. I'll be the first person to say, take your time and make it great. But you mean to tell me y'all couldn't find not one time, not one place, not one instance to say, Mahershala, put on a trench coat, get your shades. We need you in this post-credit scene. Not once? Nothing? Y'all couldn't give us an appetizer? We sitting here at the table with nothing but water. Like, what? You couldn't give us a breadstick? What are you doing? Giving that Blade voiceover is like saying, here goes some crackers, the meal's coming later. Why? Here's the difference. Remember when Marvel, because I think Marvel was operating on the way that they used to do things. When they got Chadwick Boseman to be Black Panther, they called this man up and said, hey man, you want to be Black Panther? Because he was trying to be something else. I forget what he tried to audition to be, but he was like, yeah, let's go. You didn't need a script. You didn't need a director, because you were just, all you needed was the actor. They brought him out on stage with Robert Downey and Chris Evans and Comic-Con. I think it was Comic-Con. And they were like, hey, Black Panther's coming in Captain America Civil War. And it was great. But you know why that was different? Because it was just a supporting role. It was not Black Panther the movie. That's not what they promised us. They just said Black Panther the character is here, and he's going to debut right there in Captain America Civil War. And it worked just fine. It was perfect. He had a great cameo. He showed up, and that definitely got the excitement going. And right after that, they were like, you know what? Now we'll go ahead and do a movie. That was responsible. Y'all didn't do that with Blade. You still haven't done that with Blade. This is the only thing you could do with Blade. All you would have to do is literally at least give us a quick cameo. Maybe you got to pay Mahershala a little extra bread. Maybe you do. Maybe you got to find something in the schedule. I don't think that's asking for much. So at the end of the day, this whole image of Marvel has been a problem that's been created by Marvel. The fact that everyone, I've seen this on different outlets, on different, social media chatter, people like, yo, Marvel, why are you fumbling this bag? Why are you fumbling this? What is the problem? Again, this stuff happens all the time, but y'all created this mess. You got our hopes up. And on top of that, you've done nothing to maintain that. In the meantime, that voiceover, bro, ain't nobody thinking of Eternals. Nobody is thinking of Eternals. Half of people don't even remember that was even Blade's voice in Eternals. You can't find that one instance to bring this brother up, show him out, something. TV show, you had the TVA drop the line in Loki about vampires. You couldn't just show Blade somewhere? So this is all on Marvel. I do have some good news because I don't like to be all doom and gloom. Since we like rumors and stuff, and I told y'all about how it was previously reported months ago at this point that Mahershala was cool. He was like, yeah, I like this writer. I like this script. We good. Well, we got further confirmation about how Mahershala is actually feeling. Now this comes from John Roca. He works with Jeff Snyder, so they privy to some inside information. And it says here, Mahershala Ali reportedly met with Marvel Studios, so this is more recent, and is happy with the current direction of Blade. He also has no issues with the delay of the film. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If Mahershala Ali is happy, then so am I. If he's okay with something, so am I. This is the guy that brought the idea to Marvel to begin with. This is the guy who has earned the respect of being a 2-time Oscar Award winner. This man is super talented. He knows what he's doing. So and here's the thing, there's also stuff in here that we don't know. We don't have all the information. We don't know all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But if it is true that he is happy and he's content, and even if this delay does not bother him, then that to me sounds as though things are at least moving in the right direction. But we cannot neglect the fact that it is still frustrating to hear this because Marvel raised our expectations to begin with. So, with that said, just gonna have to wait. I think that we still need a director because there is no director attached right now. I think they need to nail this. Y'all need to get like a really great director. We need, I like the rumors with the James Samuel, even though he said that wasn't true. I've already said F. Gary Gray would be cool. If they could land a Jordan Peele, just that name recognition, I think would work. But yeah, I mean, you got to blow me away with some sort of director that is really going to be impressive. I think that right there will help take this up a notch and really, man, can you get Guillermo del Toro? Whew. If we can get Guillermo in it, man, pay that man to make a Blade movie. Anyway, so yes, I will say that I was so mad when I heard this because it wasn't like, oh, it's just delayed. No, they said indefinitely. They took this off the calendar. But at the same time, there is a lot of stuff happening. We just went through the whole list of all these MCU movies that are coming out. Personally, I believe that Marvel, while I know they want to try and make this great, I would be like, y'all need to drop everything. I don't care about Cap 4. I don't care about Thunderbolts. They could be good, but I don't care. Fantastic Four, y'all can put that to the side. Ain't nobody really lining up for that right now. Blade is the number one movie that y'all should be focusing all your energy on right now because that will be a $1 billion movie and it will be something for the culture. And let me explain what I mean by that. When I said it had the Black Panther element and it had the Deadpool element, the Black Panther element is just the fact that Black folks respect Wesley Snipes and we like Blade. I'm not saying only black folks. I'm saying that aspect of the culture, we put respect on that. We will turn up for that. I haven't heard not one person talk about, I'm going to show up in my red, blue, and white, outfit to go watch Cap 4. Nobody's doing that. Okay. Now, when you look at Black Panther, what did we do, man? We was ready to bring the cookouts. We was going to bring the food. We was finna cook out literally outside the theater. We was going to sit here and bring our dashikis. People was going to bring their family, their friends to come and watch it 3, 4, 5 different times. That's the cultural impact. You don't think that Blade gonna have the same thing? You don't think we gonna go full black emo on y'all? You don't think we gonna walk in there with our shades and our trench coats being in all black? You don't think black folks are gonna make this a cultural movie? This gonna be something, okay? And on top of that, the fact that this is a rated R film. Let me explain something. Deadpool and Wolverine, that was cool. Made over $1 billion. But look how it needed to do it. It needed to be a third movie in an established franchise. And it needed the star power of Hugh Jackman. So you needed an even bigger character and actor. And you needed hella cameos. You needed all of that just to do close to what Black Panther did by himself. An all-black movie with an all-black cast crew, a relatively new unknown character, not real new, but new to general audiences. Didn't need not one Avenger to help them. Didn't need Thanos, didn't need, Captain America, didn't need Iron Man, didn't need a Hulk, didn't need no help, and did all that legwork on its own. Didn't we just talk about the fear the execs, Lupita was talking about the fear the execs had on that? Listen, I need you to trust in the culture. Trust black culture. Because I promise you, Blade will be that movie for us. And I know it might be a little cliche or whatever, but listen, that will be the new black. That will be the thing that becomes the new cool thing. Okay? The black dollar matters. We put a lot of money into a lot of things and we make those things cool because they're not part of the status quo. That is the basic definition of being cool, is going against the grain. You give us an authentic Blade. And I would argue that you really have to, I'm not saying it's got to be super Afrocentric and all that, because that's not what Blade was. But I'm just saying, if you give Blade that flavor, you put some seasoning on that Blade. That's something that Wesley Snipes was able to do brilliantly. You put that in this movie, you're going to have $1 billion with a rated R movie on top of that, which is huge. Huge. So anyway. What do you guys think about Blade being delayed indefinitely? I know some people are saying just cancel it. Some people are saying get rid of Mahershala Ali, get somebody younger. I'm going down with the ship. I am going down with the ship. I will not give up on Blade until I hear that it is actually canceled, because right now it's not canceled. But I'm going to go down with the ship because I want this. I want this to work. I want it to be successful. Y'all already know I'm buying out a theater for this. It's going to be a watch party. We're going all out for this. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right. Oh, look at that. Under 3 hours too. Ooh-wee. Came off the plane and I did it, y'all. What is this? Misha Green would be amazing, but Marvel would never. Probably not. But yeah, I mean, after Lovecraft Country, sure, why not? I'd like to see what she could do with the action sequences, though. If she can knock that out the park, yeah. But story-wise, I think that could work. You trying to be you trying to be messy. If Nolan cast Ali, and if that project was a vampire project, that would be bold. I bet you Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan probably tried to pull him away too. They probably tried to get him on. They probably tried. Oh man. Thank you for that, Natalie. Me and my sneaky link, not the sneaky link, are just like Marvel and Blade. Sometimes you gotta stop giving chance after chance. Look, you know what, Natalie? It's time for bed. You gotta go to sleep. You playing too much. Nelson, I will be done watching Blade 1 and 2. You know what, Nelson? I don't have time. I don't. I'm too tired. I can't with you. I can't. I'm no, I cannot. JN Ali won a Oscar with a terrible script in Green Book. Yeah. I mean, that's why he won it for his acting, you know. JN, let's see. As a published writer in my spare time, I could write a Blade in 3-4 weeks. Not that hard. Influence would be Jean Zombie or Jean Zombie. Not hard to write black characters. Well, you know, hey, submit your script, bro. Submit your script. Oh, so this is where Nelson. Which one will come out first? Nelson watching Blade 1 and 2 or the Ali Blade movie? That I think is what they call a trick question. That is a trick question. I don't trick question. But thank you for that. Oh man, I gotta hurry up. I forgot from is coming. Let's see. Anthony, what you got? They made 2 good movies, a live action show and a 13-episode anime miniseries. There's no way that it is difficult. Just say he's on Earth 941. Sure, that'd be fine. I'll take it. Let's see. Quiet one. Marvel, just put E-Man on your creative board already. He keeps giving y'all $1 billion movie plans. They don't hear you, man. They don't hear you. I wish they would. I wish, but you know, hey. Let's see. Nerdy, what you got? Thank you, James Gunn, for having the mandate at DC that no movies will be dated before a script is 100% ready. This is why Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, and Authority have no release dates. That is smart. That is smart. Like, yes, don't. You could talk about, you know, ideas like, hey, I'd like to have this. But yeah, don't put the cart before the horse. Don't do it. There's no reason to get expectations up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. Problem though, he did already announce that Andy Muschietti, the guy that just directed the flopped Flash, is going to direct Brave and the Bold. I thought that was a mistake. He did put the cart before the horse there. He shouldn't have done that. He should have waited for the success first. But you're right. There is no release date, so that's something. All right, Chris, I'm going to try to get through these. So thank you, first of all, brother, for these supports. I do appreciate it. Why do black actors want to make or be a part of other IPs or make it a black cast? A movie must be a great story plus great actors. I don't like how black actors downplay the Black Panther story and cast like they can all do it. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, why do they want to be a part of other IPs or make it a black? I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, I think, you know, especially when it comes to like Black Panther, like that was a once in a lifetime type of thing. You know, I think they would want to do it so that they could be a part of history or that they can make something great. I mean, I think that's any actor's goal besides getting paid, obviously, but I think they want to make something great, you know? But yeah, I don't know what you mean by black actors downplaying Black Panther. Like, if you let me know if you have an example or some of what you mean by that. Like who was downplaying it? I don't know. But thank you for that. Let's see. Do you believe there are great black scripts for great black casts? The studios don't want to spend the money. Do we have black investors? Are they also scared to invest their own people? This long post is to show support. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I do believe that there are great black scripts out there for great black casts. And yes, if we're being completely honest, a lot of the studios are run by predominantly older white men. These happen to be the people with the funds. And yeah, I mean, do we have black investors? Maybe, but not compared to I mean, here's the thing. It's not just about money, right? Like not only do you need money, but you also need like studios, you need the equipment, you need the cast, you need the crew, you need a lot of different things. And that's one of the reasons why, like, you know, it's not like Oprah can just sit here and be like, all right, here's $200 million. I mean, she could, but like, do you want to do that? You know, would you want to give up 20% of your net worth for a movie that may or may not be successful? You know, like you know, let's not pretend that we have that many black billionaires out there. And it's not like they're all gonna want to just invest in movies. Um, you know, I mean, what Tyler Perry's doing is very, very unique. You don't have a lot. I mean, I think Anthony Mackie just opened up a studio. I think 50 Cent might just open up a studio, but that number is very, very small compared to the number of white owned or white investors that are billionaires and rich. I mean, come on now. We have like a pay disparity, a gap, a racial wealth gap that's historically ridiculous, and it's also reflected in Hollywood. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that easy to just say like, hey, you know, can they all invest? Um, because one, they're not as rich as their counterparts. Two, they're not as guaranteed to get their money back either. Um, and yeah, I mean, like I remember, I think it was Birth of a Nation where Nate Parker talked about how he had to go through like all these different, you know, investors. I think he went to like Shaq, he went to I forget all the other people that invested, but you know, everybody gave him like, all right, man, here's a couple of 100,000 here, maybe here's $1 million there. And that was a lot. That was a lot for them to sit here and give up because they got other things that they're investing in. Um, and they wasn't sure if that movie was even gonna, you know, get their money back like that. So I don't know. I think it's just more complicated than just that. Um, it's a complicated process to make movies. It's complicated to get the money, to get everybody on board. I mean, let's be honest. How hard is it to for most people to get just their friends to put in enough money to go on a trip, on a vacation trip together? You know. So anyway, thank you so much for the support. Absolutely appreciate it. And thank you all for being here once again. I appreciate y'all every time. But I do have to go. I have to go upload some From stuff. If you have been watching From, just posted my interview with Tabitha and Henry. Make sure y'all go check that out. Man, I am tired. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. And until next time, see you guys later. Peace.